through after a lot of pivoting, and I would say we have reached product market fit, and we are in the verge of raising further rounds. I do also help other startups at MIA, as I am heading the startup vertical at MIA, and I've had 6 years of experience building the startups and taking the product to the product market fit, which is the way at the right stage to grow. And I would like to share some experience of what you need to do to be successful in building a startup. Can I have the remote, please? Do you have a remote? Yeah, thank you. So the most important topic, I would like to ask this question to the audience. What is the first thing you would need to start a startup? Can anybody answer?
An idea.
Idea. Yes, brother? Yeah. Money. No, money is definitely not the first thing. So if you see the history of startups, successful startup, startups generally start with a problem statement. Idea is the solution to a problem statement. So we should always think what is the problem statement or which is an unmet need in the market. There are a lot of needs in the market. Please, you will have to figure out what is the need which has not been met by other people. For example, if you, in typical business also, right, if you want to open a stationery store, you already have a stationery store. You want to open a grocery store, you already have 3 or 4 grocery stores. So you are already serving a market which is already met, right? So it's typical in the tech startup also, especially the tech startup world is very ruthless. It won't give you too many chances, it will burn you out. So before starting a startup, a lot of people in this in the country, in our community are heading towards building a startup. They don't know how to start. So I think this particular slide is my 6 years of experience in building startup and mentoring startup. So you can even take a pic of this if you would like to. That is the problem statement is what we should start with, which is an unmet need or a burning problem. So if you would like to give some examples, then we can apply these concepts and see if the product, if the startup is being successful in following these techniques. For example, we have Uber from the corporate mobility industry. Create an app to the customers to connect them to the drivers, people who are willing to make some money by using their whiteboard cars. In India, it's a different concept. All the Uber cabs are only yellow board, but in US, whiteboard regular personal cars also use Uber basically to make out some money. So we have Rapido doing that in India, and there's a lot of issues going on with the with that company. So the problem should not be just a small problem. The problem should be a very large problem. So see, if building a startup is very different from building a business. If you have to focus on building a startup if you want to make it really big. I gave in my previous panel discussions, I gave examples of the tech companies like Google. So all the tech startups who are literally leading the industry. There are only 1 or 2 companies which exist in every industry. We have to talk about Google search engine. 80 to 90% of the market share is owned by Google. In videos also, YouTube, most of the market share. There is literally no second player. So it is very ruthless. You have, if you are building a startup, if you want to become a unicorn or a unicorn, you have to follow these steps. If you just blindly say, okay, I'll try something, let's see what happens, then you are going to waste your time, money and energy. So please follow the proven methods. Problem, like I mentioned, should be a really big problem and a burning problem or a pain point. Like what is the pain which people are experiencing? Please understand that pain and work towards building a solution. Like we can take some examples. I've done so, right? What is the pain? Like every time we go to office, we used to miss something. We didn't have a solution, right? Idea is a solution to a problem. We didn't have a solution. For this, sir, somebody gets that item or a lunch box from my home to our offices. Then so solve that problem. So they started with the problem set. They didn't start with an idea. They started with the problem statement. They built an idea. They built a solution, innovative solution, and they built a differentiator. Then comes the differentiator. So what is the innovative solution? Innovative solution is what you should do. Obviously, in technology world, it is an app, website, or anything like that. There are some hardware startups where you drone-based startups like that. So that is, we'll talk about it in a different way. The focus area is your solution has to be exponentially better than the existing solution. If you are building a solution, okay, there is a Flipkart. Okay, you will say you will build one more e-commerce company. And the problem is solved. It is not a market, nobody needs your solution. So don't build such type of platform which are already solved and the market is already saturated with it. You have to have an exponential differentiator to the existing solution which exists in the market. If you can build that, if you build just an incremental solution, you will not be successful. And you will die down, or if you become profitable, you will survive. You will build a small business over it and probably stay on like that. If you want to build an exponentially growing, fast growing startup which has a capacity to raise funds and then become a unicorn and a decacorn, unicorn you would have heard, but decacorn is a company which is $10 billion company. We have more than 100 unicorns in our country. Unfortunately, we don't have a single unicorn from our community. So, can we commit ourselves that we'll bring a lot of unicorns from our community in this platform today? Inshallah. So, can we say Inshallah? So, the reason is we are not following the right processes to build, and we didn't have right method. When I started off 6 years back, I didn't have anybody to handhold me to follow these processes, which took a lot of time for even me or a lot of people, entrepreneurs who are existing in our community to reach the time. So if you see other communities, they handhold the startups really, really fast. So the last parameter mentions about the team and mentors. I'll come to that. After the innovative solution, so how should be a solution? We spoke about incrementally better solution. Exponentially better solution. The solution has to be disruptive. It just can't be a typical solution. It has to be an out-of-box solution. We can talk about all the successful startups, whether to talk about Byju's or Honda or Danzo, Flipkart, all are disruptive. They have disrupted the industry. They have changed the behavior of the people in a country or globally. Only if you can change the behavioral pattern, then only you can build really, really big companies. If you build such solutions, you will not need any marketing. So you have to just put an example. If you can solve people's problems, whether it is B2C or B2B problems, you don't need to sell your solution. It will get solved automatically because they need you more than you need them. And you have to work on increasing efficiency. There is an increasing efficiency parameter which is called delta, which I'll explain later. And once you have understood these two concepts, the third concept is business model. If you solve a problem, an unmet need, you will build an exponentially differentiated solution. But if you don't build a business model around it, then you will be in difficult phase. So there are a lot of companies in India who are struggling to become profitable even today, despite of solving a problem and building an innovative solution. So that should be a focus. Earlier days, I have seen where the venture capitalists used to write checks with just an idea, and they used to give that idea in tissue paper, and the funding has happened. Those days are gone. The VCs have learned the lessons because the startups have moved to IPO. Despite of IPO, the share value has crashed tremendously. So the concept used to be iski to bhi uske sir. Okay, I'll build some startups and I will raise some funding at this valuation. Then I'll wait for the bigger pool to come and take the hand and keep on waiting. And then the biggest pool is the public, which is if you're which is the IPO, when it goes to IPO. So that concept doesn't exist. All the companies which have gone to IPO without having the solid process, so this process have literally failed in the public markets. And because they have failed, the previous venture capital round will be difficult for them as well as for the other companies, new companies. So that model will not work in this scenario right now. So you will have to build a strong business model. The business model, there is a concept called unit economics, which a typical businessman follows. So startup has to grow like a startup but think like a business. Like run like a business also. If you don't make money on per transaction, if you don't make money on per day, per week, per month basis, per segment, then it will be a difficult phase for you. It's called a J curve, which we'll talk about it. And so always build asset-light models. Gone are the days where you'll put 10 crore, 100 crore investments to build some businesses. These days, we have all the startups. If you talk about Facebook, if you talk about WhatsApp, Google, all are extremely asset-light. Uber didn't have a vehicle of their own into any marketing to build to become such a huge organization. So always follow the boss. This is the main. So I'll try to complete it really quickly. And you have to build a self-surviving, profitable business model. And the fourth important parameter is delta form, where if you have a parameter, for example, the cab aggregator used to be like earlier, the experience parameter was for with the whole travel companies to be 1. Today the experience parameter with the app is say 7 or 8. So you have a delta of 7. So if you have a delta of 4, this is a concept by Kunal Shah, founder of Free Charge and Correct Today. It's an amazing concept. If you have a parameter of 4, data parameter of 4 plus, then it is an irreversible change. The startup is going to be successful because the efficiency scores are really good. And you should always, the parameters might be multiple. That might you might be good in, say, you are more efficient, you are more cost effective, multiple parameters. So the differentiator parameters multiply. You just don't just add. So if, that's a really good thing. And you will have to build technology to build scalable businesses. If you don't have technology, then you will not be able to scale. So it's going to be really difficult for you to make it a really big company without technology. And an entry barrier, like we spoke about, is if there's only one player in the market. Like Byju's is acquiring all the other companies to become the market leader and take the bigger chunk of the market. So which becomes a really later stages it does come in. And you should have a complementary tree. Which is you have to have a tech co-founder if you are building a tech startup. So please do have a tech co-founder and a non-tech co-founder. Mentors, it's very critical that you have mentors because they will accelerate your growth. So I think these are some of the really critical aspects. Can we move to the slides quickly? Slides. Yeah, he's moving on. Next slide. Last 3-4 steps. Yeah, so we are working on building an incubator. Why we are working on building an incubator at MIS? Our community lacks entrepreneurship thought process, so we have tried to build entrepreneurial mindset in our community. And lakhs of professional students are willing to become entrepreneurs, but they don't know how to start. And we lack innovation in our community. Startup needs right entry and holding from the people who have gone through the phase already to save their time, money, and energy. We have to create maximum impact. Startups create maximum impact to the community as well as financial condition of the community. We need to make aspiring entrepreneurs true entrepreneurs. People are willing to become, but we want to make them true entrepreneurs. And we want to make employees not employees, which is the motto of MI. Next slide, please. So these are the things which we will be providing at MI startup incubation. So you can please do go through. Next slide, please. So this is a pitch deck format, typical pitch deck format which will be required to apply for the startup incubation. Next slide please. Next slide. Yeah, so we are coming up with a Shark Tank event. You might have heard about Shark Tank where startups come and pitch to the people, investors. So inshallah we are coming up with a Shark Tank event very soon where you will be allowed to pitch in front of the investors and raise funding. So next one. And our goal is to generate 100 validated startups with 30 revolutionary self-sustainable, profitable funded startup which can disrupt the nation and the world and build 3 unicorns in our community inshallah in next 3 years time. I think that's the goal. So looking forward to support all the people in our community who have some really good solving the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Hidayat. Thank you so much for the presentation. If we can just sum it up of what Hidayat was talking, you can sell a product only if you have understood the NDP of a customer, need, desire, or a pain point. If you are able to solve any of these, all of these 3 points, then your customer is willing to pay for you. Otherwise, if you are not able to solve any one of these also, then why should a customer look at you? One is that, and the second most important, if you have to pitch into a venture capitalist, is how scalable is your model. So these are the 2 parameters which are very critical for you to pitch before VC. And inshallah, the vertical one of MIA will be hand-holding you in this, just in case any startup is there who've got an idea, they'll help you through this process, right from ideation to design thinking to business canvas, business model, branding, and even up to the stage of pitching to the investors. So inshallah, MI will be hand-holding, and we have got a lot of resource people to do that. And as was rightly put by Hidayat, inshallah very soon MI will be coming up with a Shark Tank where investors will be sitting there, and then the startups can come and pitch their product. If it makes sense for them, inshallah they'll be willing to invest. That is one part. And the second thing is, you just saw a mock of networking meeting this evening. Actually, we wanted to do a live session itself, involving all of you. But unfortunately, what happens is, we were scheduled to start our day at 10 o'clock. But even 10:30, there was very little response. Only 3 people had reported 10:30, I think. Only 3 people. Only 3 delegates were in the auditorium. And that we had to shift it, and we lost a very crucial of about 1.5 hours in the morning. Otherwise, we could have been on track, we could have done everything as per our plans. In any case, what we request all the delegates is, any event that is conducted, please be on time so that you make the best use of the resources that come there. So any delay and whatever inconvenience has been caused, we really regret for the inconvenience caused, because there are certain things which are beyond our comprehension, also beyond our control as well. So having said that, now we will be conducting a live network session for such of those who are interested. In case you want to be a part of that, you can definitely get in touch with Mr. Yusuf. Syed Yusuf, his number is 855 39 20084. 85539 Mr. Syed Yusuf is the vertical 5 head of MIA. Please get in touch with him for a live networking session. It's a very, very powerful session to improve your business.